Hi, my name is Jo. I work out of the McCartney Family Funerals at Wynnum, and I got into the funeral industry because I actually wanted to work out at the Jong Tong Centre where they do all the autopsies. That's how I got into the funeral industry, through making a phone call to find out that I needed to have all kinds of matter of death, whether it being a nurse or coming from a funeral home. So that's what then prompted me to then hand my resume out to all the local funeral homes in the Wynnum area and go from there to see what would happen. Okay, so that process started way back about 17, 18, 19 years ago, back in the early 2000s. I sent out my resume, as I said, to the local funeral homes, and then just waited for a reply. And I got one reply just letting me know that I wasn't successful. And that was a bit disappointing. And we just went from there, and then 18 months later, I then got a phone call to see if I was still interested wanted to get into the industry, and yes, I was. So with the other funeral home that I started out with 17 years ago, I've done everything from being what they call a funeral director's assistant. So that's going out and helping with the music, the slideshows and other things. I've also been in the mortuary. I've been a supervisor, so that's making sure that everyone gets out to their funerals on times, making sure that flowers have been ordered. And then after a while I decided that I wanted to move into another area. So when Brian approached me last year, I thought this is the time to go, to move into a little family business after being in such a big corporate funeral home prior. So the difference with joining Brian and his team, I have found that I'm able to go out into the community and do community work, like visiting local nursing homes and helping out with community events like Easter bonnet making and going to Zumba class. We've found that the ladies and the gentlemen both like those types of interaction where they can't go out and see a lot of people. I find the most rewarding part of my journey has been that I have lived and grown in Wynnum. I've gone to school here. I worked at the local Kmart for 17 years. I know the families that are coming through my door, unfortunately, and it makes them at ease as well, so they know a friendly face when they come through those doors, and we just sit and talk about what their loved one would want. Okay, my biggest challenge, I will not lie, it's technology. I am not good with it. I struggle with technology because it changes so quickly. I'm just not, I will get there, but hey, I've learned to use Google Maps. It's true! I still use a Refidex. It has changed me in a little bit. I'm now not afraid of death. I know what's coming. I do believe that we all have a date. We just don't know what it is. And one of the main things that I have changed is I hate being in photos, but now I do get in them, because quite often I do see families that, you know, they may want a slideshow or a photographic montage. They don't have the photos of their loved one because they never took them. So I have made a point of getting in photos now, even though I still don't like it. Being a part of the funeral industry means that I can help people. A lot different to my Kmart days. I was still helping, but this way I feel in the funeral industry, people come to me for help. Not even if someone has passed away. Sometimes, you know, you go out to morning tea and people say, hey, how did this happen? Or what happens when you get cremated? As I used to also be a cremator operator before I started in the funeral industry. So just being able to answer those questions and putting people's mind at ease is why I got into the funeral industry and why I love it so much after 17 years.